Hey, what's happening, gamers? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Kwingsletsplays and the continuation of Mario Kart. This is going to be the finale of the Mirror Cup. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys having a good one. See that the thing is very loud. So hopefully you can hear me now. Just having a... I don't even know how to talk about this because I don't have any information. But we're having a problem, and the channel could end abruptly, so let me just explain what's happening. Okay, so normally, YouTubers are paid on the 17th or 18th of the month. The company we work for that's associated with YouTube hasn't triggered payment. And it's 4 or 5 days late. The company who represents us contacted us and told us to remove access for that company to have to our channel. I've notified YouTube, but they're not available until the 22nd, which is convenient. That means everything that we earned last month, we haven't been paid. Our rent is coming. We're going to lose our health insurance. Zelda's very sick. I have an MRI I'm supposed to have. We won't be able to pay for our internet. Like, our entire business could go under in like 10 days. And it's like we would be thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. And I don't know what to do. I've reached out to a couple companies that I could talk to about this. I've reached out to Side Scrollers and Clownfish, and reached out to some. I'm still putting my resume out there to get something because like our bank account just went negative.
Maybe we should.
Um,
Move. Maybe you and I should go now and move some stuff over. You could put the music on. We could go now. Cause I can't move anything over.
yeah,
I
I got
can't move
I
anything over right now.
um
We could move 500.
I um
Or we could move to.
if anybody decides to do super chats, please do not use YouTube. Um, our Patreon is the only thing that's going to work right now. Like I said, we just got the information just now.
You guys remember when we were with Ferrella Digital and they stole 3 months of income from us?
That was 10 years ago. Yeah.
So this might be happening again, where a company might be stealing an entire month of income, which means all the super chats, everything, they're stealing it, they're taking it for themselves, and
Memberships,
pay us.
ad revenue,
Memberships, ad revenue.
everything.
I don't know if t-shirt sales are connected,
Yep.
but
Yep.
all of
Merchandise.
the streams that we worked on for the entire month could be they could take everything, which means we don't have any way to pay our business internet, no way to pay our rent, no way to pay our health insurance, um, no way to pay our electricity, no way to pay our rent. So we are in really bad shape. I don't know if Luke is gonna interrupt the stream and just come with me to the bank.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you to the bank.
Maybe we can try to emergency put some stuff.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah. So
this has happened several times. We've had Maker Studios steal thousands of dollars from us in the past. Ferrella Digital stole literally an enormous amount of money from us. 3 months of rent in the past, or 3 months of income. So it looks like another company has possibly turned shady. Has nothing to do. Yeah, we don't have anything because We've been asking for people to pay their $5 memberships for years, and we've been running the thing into the ground, and people said that we were being mean by asking people to pay. So we've been one step away from not being able to pay anything, and now this company is not going to pay us 1 month of our entire income. And yeah, we've been 1 month away from income, from losing our entire life. And if we don't get this income in, it's possible Luke and I will not have a home or anything, because literally all of our income goes to the business expenses to keep this channel going. And that's exactly why we always ask for memberships, because it would be much easier for us if we had a little extra over what we need to pay to keep the channel going. But people continually have excuses why they don't want to help, even though people watch every day.
Okay, so our YouTube manager, who's been promoted, he just got back to us. He says the good news is, when this company removes access to us, we're still part of the YouTube Partner Program. So our channel, like, YouTube is working on trying to figure out, they're reaching out to this company, but they haven't been able to contact them. So if our YouTube representatives can't contact this company, this looks really bad. What I've done is I pinned the Patreon. We have to go to the bank, and hopefully we can make it to the bank before the bank closes. I don't even know if the bank is still open. I can't deal with this.
You can't sue people if you can't hire a lawyer. You can't sue people if you have negative bank account. You sue people if you have thousands of dollars extra. You can't even if you have thousands of dollars extra, you still can't sue people. You need tens of thousands to pay for lawyers to sue people. That's impossible to sue somebody
Also,
with a negative bank account.
If YouTube can't get a hold of these people, then in reality what happened is this company may have taken the money and run. So you can't sue somebody who flees. The company is located overseas.
How are you going to sue somebody that dissolved their entire company, erased any trace that they were ever online, and then left? You can't sue somebody that doesn't exist.
Yeah. So like I said, this is a very, very bad situation, but we're going to put the Be Right Back on. If people want to help out our Patreon pays us on the 5th of every month.
Don't super chat right now, because
no, don't super chat.
That's going to the company.
That's going to the company that works for YouTube.
They decided they're gonna take our money.
Yeah. It's not looking good, people. The fact that different companies are reaching out to us and saying things is not good. Okay. So yeah, that's our Patreon. Put our Patreon in the description as well. The thing is, we have $500 towards rent on Patreon. Our rent is due the 1st, and Patreon pays on the 5th. So if we could, I don't even know how we would earn $1,000 like through Patreon. We're in big trouble.
I mean, after I go to the bank, Luke's probably gonna have to stream, but I don't even know what the point of him streaming is, since they've decided to take everything.
Yeah, this is bad. So,
and what I'm angry about is my family was pressuring me, so I had an opportunity for a job, and I had to literally edit my hours on that job so I could go down and see my family, and now I won't get that job because of them.
There's no way you'll get to go down to your mother's burial. Like, we have no way of sending you. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my family that I don't have any that the money was stolen.
Yeah. So
I'm just gonna have to tell my dad he's just gonna have to do the burial without me, because money was stolen.
Yep. So we'll be back, and we're gonna try to go to the bank and see if we can freeze our account and do some other things. So we'll be back. very sorry that this happened, but I mean, sometimes this is what it's like in the business world. It's very cutthroat. And thank you, Miss Deanna, for becoming a Patreon person. We really appreciate that. That helps out a lot. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys transparency because, you know, you guys like this channel. We like working on this channel. We went to the bank and we took out the remainder of our savings, which wasn't very much. We paid off our rent, so we do have a place to live next month. That's taken care of, but it's still... we're going to try to take out a loan tomorrow, so be praying that, you know, the bank will give us a loan because we need it to cover like the next 2 months. Because with the new company that we're working with, or will be working with, we don't have a choice. YouTube's going to place us wherever YouTube's going to place us. We won't start earning like money for that until like mid-July. So, you know, like I said, we're going to be pushing our Patreon, and nobody did anything wrong. Like, you guys are fine. This is YouTube uses very old methods. It's a process that's very... What's the word I'm looking for? Not just shady. It's a very old process. It's a very archaic thing. And it's not a wise thing to do. Because there are people all over the world that work for this agency. Like, most people think that when a YouTuber works somewhere that you're paid directly by YouTube. As I said, YouTube is such a small company that people have no idea. Just like Twitch is a very small company too. Twitch has an office in New York City, and Twitch has an office in California. It is impossible for a small agency to run thousands and thousands of partners. So what they do is, to save cost, is they open up satellite agencies in just about every country in the world, and they have 2 to 3 employees that basically house thousands of YouTube partners. So 3 people or 4 or 5 people are responsible for thousands of creators getting paid, getting support all around the world. So no, the only information we have from Google's legal department is that someone saw the person who works at that company several days ago, but he hasn't been seen since. But the thing is, the person's car or their transportation is still where it's supposed to be. So what I'm thinking is the person died of a heart attack. They don't know, like the Google imaging cameras or whatever is like, could be a couple days behind, but yeah, the vehicle or their transportation is still at their place of residence where they work. So it's very possible that the people who worked at the company are dead, or there is like some type of huge problem. But even if they were compromised with the Google hacking that happened on the 16th, you would think they would have the responsibility to get a hold of Google and tell them what's going on. Because Google apparently hasn't triggered payment yet to people's Google AdSense because of the June 19th thing. Because the banks were closed. So there's still a possibility we could get paid at the end of the month. They don't know yet, because the owner of our AdSense account told us that there's been no activity on our AdSense account. You know, because the company we've been working for 5 years we're in their AdSense. So the only thing that we use our friend's AdSense account for is when we leave a network, it gets transferred to a new one. It's just to show Google that we've had an AdSense account for like 18 years or something. It doesn't, it's just a preliminary thing. It doesn't do anything. And like I said, I don't have any information other than that. The story is still developing. The police haven't been called yet in Sweden, but I think they should mobilize the police to check on this business and, you know, confirm if they're dead or alive.
No, if he passed away, or she or whoever works there, I mean the life-saving medical services for a person who has a stroke is only a few days. If it's a heart attack, you have an hour to help somebody. So, I mean, I'm just speculating. I don't know. I don't have the information. All I know is we have a rough idea of who the person is, like Google does, and the company we work for, the talent agency we work for works for this agency. So, you know, it's like there's so many complications with YouTube that people have no idea. It's so complex. But everybody's frantically trying to get a hold of something because once the bigger partners, we're a small fish. There are travel partners, there are cooking channels, and there are vloggers that have millions upon millions of subscribers. When they don't get paid, they're going to hit the roof. And, you know, this is going to become a much bigger thing. I'm the first one to sound the alarm because I'm not waiting until the 30th because we have an agreement where they take 3% of our income to pay us on the 16th. We have what's known as an early access deal where we can get our money on the 16th or the 18th, and they take 3% of our earnings in addition to the, you know, 15 or 10% that they already take. Because Amber and I wanted to be paid earlier. It was one of the perks of working with this company. Yeah. The 30th was too late to get our rent in, so we had an agreement for they would do an additional 3% deduction for whatever we made to get paid on the 18th. And there aren't many channels that do that because channels don't like having deductions. So they wait until the 30th when they get, usually most YouTube channels get paid by the 30th. There are a couple hundred that do ask for early payment, but like I said, there is a fee. Just like there are bank fees if you do something early, like if you take money out of this security deposit or whatever. It worked out better for us to do that. So the reason why we're sounding the alarm now is because we haven't been paid and a few other hundred people who use this service haven't been paid. And everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. As well, if there's a potential to help this person that could be in trouble, you know, now that people are looking for them, maybe, you know, hopefully the worst case scenario didn't happen. The two things I'm concerned about is the person died, which if they died, we'll be able to get our money back. But I'd feel horrible for the person because that was his job. If they ran away, since it hasn't... you have to remember, the people who ran last time, the people who stole 50 grand from us and ran, they had they had a 1 month head start. They were replying to partners in the Cayman Islands on their cell phones. They weren't in the country. They weren't in Great Britain anymore. They weren't in England. Nobody had seen them for a while, and yet they were still communicating via email or via email. But they had already left the country. So, you know, because it's so early that we're, you know, sounding the alarm right now, that means that law enforcement can find the people if they ran, because, like, you know, it should be possible to get them. They can review security information. It takes a month completely to disappear if you run away, you know. So it's only been like hasn't even been a full week yet. So, you know, me jumping on this now, it's possible that this could get resolved by the end of the month. Because I don't... One thing you have to understand about me, I've been through a similar situation like this. I don't trust people. I'm concerned about the person's safety if they are, you know, if they did pass away. I would feel terrible. They had a family. And we've worked with them fine for 5 years, right? But at the same time, I've had friends that I've known for years, and they appear like good people, and all of a sudden the FBI shows up and arrests them, you know? So you may think you know somebody, and they may appear nice and kind, but sometimes those are the people that you have to be wary of. So I don't feel bad contacting the authorities. I don't feel bad getting YouTube involved in this right away, because time is of the essence, okay? You can't wait for something like that. You can't just be like, well, there might be a hiccup. It's like you give them a grace period of like 2 or 3 days. And actually, I've given them 4 days before I got involved. Now that I'm involved, I'm going to have my fangs deep in this because there's so much at stake. So I'm not a patient person. I'm not a person that just like, goes with the flow and just is like, oh, okay, we're not going to get paid until the 30th. I don't trust people. I always have contingency plans. So. Yeah, but as I said, most people that work on YouTube, the biggest killer of YouTubers is heart attacks. The stress, the losing of money, partners yelling and screaming at you. I actually applied for years ago to be a partner manager and to work on an MCN. I never did it, but yeah, we are offering, like, we're telling people to go to our Patreon. If people have to donate and like donating, we recommend that people, go to our Patreon and help there. We already have $500 towards bills on our Patreon. So whatever we're able to get by the end of the month, like I said, I will be making a proper video, as well as there'll be a proper newsletter going out to reach out to our whales, to our big supporters that, come by and drop like a lot of money. And if we can get them to go do something like that on our Patreon, at least our bank account shouldn't go negative. But please be praying that we can take out a loan. Especially if you're Christian or Catholic, we need as much prayer as possible. We're going to exhaust all our financial options with our financial advisors before we do something like a GoFundMe or something like that. But just so you know, it's only going to impact us for 1 month because we've already taken the steps to be removed from where we are and placed into another agency through YouTube. The process takes 20 days. So we hit the kill switch today. It'll take YouTube's system 20 days, so sometime in the beginning of July, to move us to another agency within seconds. They really should have a panic button that they could drop partners immediately from a compromised company. Because the thing is, I had this conversation with Google, a very lengthy discussion with their legal department in 2014, and foresaw a lot of problems with this. And all these years later, I'm not saying it's happening again, but there's a potential that it's happening again. And this company was in charge of, according to my information, about 450 YouTubers, ranging from subscribers of as low as 100,000 to as high as 4 million. So the fact that something similar is happening that happened with Pharrella Digital, and YouTube and Google still don't have as many protections in place other than to prevent a channel from being taken hostage. They have a kill switch that activates after 20 days or 30 days, depending on your agreement with them. And that's the best they can do right now. And I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable. They should have some type of agreement where YouTube is the owner. So they should have the ability to remove access immediately to the compromised person, because this person could be siphoning income, into a massive bank account before they flee the country. Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. So I'm just saying, like, they really need to ratify their security over at Google, because the fact that this happened again after almost 11 years is very disturbing. Because, the only difference is we didn't know for 3 months. Or no, we didn't know for 2 months. And we were held hostage for almost 3. Like, we had no idea. Because back then, I was one of those content creators that wasn't constantly checking our analytics. Like, people ask, like, why do you check your data so much? It's like, because of instances like this. Because I used to be a carefree YouTuber that was like, oh, okay, my channel's getting about, like, 10,000 views an hour and whatever. You know, I got paid this, and you know, why isn't it in my bank account? There must be some type of problem. And I had this nonchalant attitude for, like, 2 months. And then when I found out about what was going on, by that point, it was too late. So I had to formulate a plan of shopping around at networks to get out of where I was. And, you know, I basically had to... I'm pretty sure I used blackmail in order to get out of the network with Varela, because I had information about them dealing with fraud with PewDiePie or something. Yeah, because they were doing something shady to PewDiePie, who was one of their partners. And I had, like, somebody had given me Skype conversations between them and some other people, so I was going to give that to publications to prove, like, you know, so wherever they were in the Cayman Islands, they released my channel. They were planning on keeping our channel hostage and still earning revenue off us. And so I pulled a dirty card and did whatever I could to get out, and we signed with Freedom immediately. I didn't want to blackmail the company, but I had no choice because YouTube gave me no options. But the problem is, I don't have any leverage against this company because they have been nothing but cordial with us. So I have no information. Nobody's come through and talked about them. Even the people who I trust, who I've worked with for 12 or 13 years, they don't know what's going on. So everybody's in a panic right now. Because believe me, if I had leverage, I would use it right now. But I don't know these people. And I'll be honest, I kind of preferred that. All I wanted was them just to give us a paycheck every month. I didn't want to get to know people on an interpersonal level. Of course, honey. You're fine. But a lot of people think I'm nice. I'm Brooklyn nice. If you know what that means, it means I'm nice to a fault. But when things don't go the way that they're supposed to, then I become a junkyard dog. So some people are right about me online. I'm not as nice as I appear on camera. It's true. I'm Brooklyn nice. When push comes to shove, I shove. I don't wait around. I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. I give people 48 hours to get their crap together, and then I take action. Because that's, you know, it's about the best I can do. After that, it's like everything that I have available in my arsenal, every contact that I have at Google, YouTube, Google's legal department, everything. Everything gets mobilized. I've already written all the emails, given them every information that I have, and hopefully they'll start their investigation immediately. Because I can't do anything else other than that. The next step is I'm going to be talking to podcasts. I'll be speaking to publications. You know, trying to help as many channels as I can. Because there are a lot of channels that, again, have a very nonchalant attitude about all this. They have no idea what's going on. And they're going to be in for a big surprise if they wait until the 30th. So, the internet has no idea how lucky they are to have somebody like me in their corner. So, but I don't mess around. Yep, Miss Sienna knows what I'm talking about. Brooklyn is one of the nicest places of New York City, but it's still New York City. Exactly. That's a chocolate pit? Yeah. So anyway, guys, let's try to get the YouTube Shorts running, because, like I said, we are gonna have to shop around for a new home, like a new digital home for Kwings Let's Plays. So we need to keep our numbers up. So it's still business as usual. I just ask that people withhold super chats, and if you do super chats, please use our Patreon, because we don't know where the money is going right now. Yep, of course. Yep, run the shorts, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Because we have to make sure that this channel can be, you know, easily picked up by another agency. Yeah. Okay, I just heard back from a publication. Like I said, I'm not waiting. So I just had Side Scrollers just contacted me, and we'll say a dinosaur press agency just contacted me, asking for information. So it's probably gonna be a very busy weekend for me. I don't know how often I'll be able to live stream, but you guys have to understand that my priority is taking care of my wife and I. I want to do what I can to help other YouTubers. But, you know, my priority is my wife and I. Once my wife and I, you know, are taken care of, then I will, the only thing I can do for other YouTubers is get the word out and get them to, you know, start doing stuff. So I'll be making a proper video if I do not get paid by Sunday night, or Saturday night. I will give them until Saturday night, my time, 11:59 p.m. If they do not pay us, then I will be releasing everything I have publicly, and I will be making a video warning the partners of Nagato and Torn and telling them what's up, and telling them what they need to do. But so far I've had a few people have reached out for more information, so that's good. But this could be the biggest YouTube scandal since 2014. And you know, usually with money involved, people talk. Well, that's good that I thought that person and I were on bad terms, so I'm glad he actually reached out to me. Is this the hackers' fault? No. This is not associated with the hackers. The hackers is done by an activism group that are associated with the woke philosophy, and they're a whole separate thing. So the people who try to have us swatted, and the people who have done smear campaigns, they're allies of like woke people, which is a failed, political movement. It's over. So, but there's still remnants of those people that attack us and stuff like that. This has to do with a company that works for YouTube hasn't paid their partners who have early access to, like, we basically pay a fee. Me and a few hundred YouTubers, we pay a fee to have our paycheck given early. Most YouTubers are paid on the 30th of the month, the end of the month. Whatever your earnings were for the previous month, you're paid at the end of the next month. So May's earnings for most YouTubers are paid June 30th, right? Amber and I are part of a group that works for an agency that they pay early for a fee, because YouTube sends the MCN paychecks around for all the YouTubers. YouTubers that work for the agencies are paid technically by the 16th or the 18th of the month, and then it's the MCN, the multi-channel network's job to basically think of them like they're kind of like an you guys have a job, right? You know what human resources is. So YouTube hires different human resources agencies, right, to make sure that all their partners are getting paid and getting the support that YouTube is being transparent about. So these human resource companies that are located all over the world that work with, they're basically given a list of clients, right? Given like a list of like 100, 300, 1,000, whatever. The smaller the agency, the smaller the group of YouTubers that are paid through that agency. It's 100% legal. However, because it's separate from YouTube in a sense, because YouTube would have to pay an exorbitant amount, and also based on all the employees that YouTube has, which they deem as subcontractors, there's a certain law in the United States that if you exceed a certain amount of employees or subcontractors, you have to, give those people benefits, and you have to do all kinds of stuff. So YouTube found a gray area in order to have like millions and hundreds of thousands of YouTube partners, is by creating these networks, which people become partnered through them, and they become both human resources agencies as well as talent agencies. And then they ask for a commission based on, whatever, a 95-5, 100, whatever it is. 50-50, 70-40, whatever. Whatever your agreement is with that agency. Okay? So the agency works with YouTube, and then they're supposed to take care of the people that are housed under their department. The company we work for, or are associated with, that is affiliated with YouTube, has not paid their partners early and has gone dark. There have been partners other than myself that have contacted them and asked them for information, and they haven't responded. The good news is their email account is still active. When this happened in 2014, the agency that was associated with, they terminated their email. So if you triggered an email to them, right, the email would basically, like, it wouldn't work. It would be like, have you guys ever tried to email somebody that terminates their email, and you get this whole message, this person is no longer available, or this account doesn't exist? So when hundreds of YouTubers in 2014 reached out to Pharrell and Foxadel, they would get this automated message from Gmail saying this account no longer exists. People are emailing Nagato and Torn, and the emails are going through, they're just not read. So that's a very good sign, because it might be possible to still catch these people, or to find out what happened. Do you understand? Like, time is of the essence in catching thieves. as the most important thing I can tell you as somebody who comes from a police family. Time is of the essence. With a missing person, with massive fraud, with somebody having an illness, time is important. The faster that people get aware, the faster this gets investigated, and the quicker we find out what's going on. You know? But I'm going to see if this person can actually call me. Oh, congratulations for winning. Yeah. I hope they call. Yeah, but that's that's what is happening right now. So that's the best way I can explain is YouTube is a massive corporation, but in order to prevent paying people like a union thing, like benefits and all this other stuff, they take advantage of a uh, subcontractor relationship, as well as they hire or work with. I don't know if they own or they hire or if they pay YouTube. I've never understood how multi-channel networks work, and I almost ran a CMS, which is a commercial monetized system or whatever, where I would have been paid 5% of every YouTuber that was going to work in my company. I would receive 5% of all their revenue. But that deal didn't go through, and that was like 10 years ago. But I knew about the inner workings of YouTube way back then. Because I didn't want to be a content creator forever. I wanted to earn money however I could and retire before I hit 40. Now, you guys know that didn't happen. I'm still a streamer. But I tried to make plans to do that, and I didn't get approved of a CMS. Me and my friend both were rejected. And my friend no longer works at YouTube. He has a job offline. He's very happy with it. It's a very good computer job, and his kids are now 7 years old and 14. So, a lot's happened. But his life is doing much better than mine. But anyway, so as part of a program that we pay 3% of our revenue to get, or 3% of our paycheck in order to get our paycheck early, myself and about 100 other people noticed something very suspicious around the 16th of June. It is now the 20th of June, and the company responsible for paying us is dark. Now, when a company goes dark, it's a very bad thing. Okay? It could be a multitude of reasons. The person could be dead. The person could be fleeing the country where they live. They could be cutting ties and holding hostage companies, which is totally illegal, by the way. You can't withhold income continually from a company. Number 4, the only thing that YouTube can do is called a removal system that takes effect after 20 to 30 days of a YouTuber hitting a kill switch in their channel, which brings them back under YouTube's umbrella until they can house you into another company, which is what they do. Most YouTubers are part of what's known as an MCN. And that MCN pays you. That MCN works on your behalf for copyright, which they suck at. Nobody is smarter at copyright than I am, because I was trained for it, but that's besides the point. I'm able to prevent most copyright strikes, most content ID, all that other stuff, because I was trained to do it, because my job was going to be a CMS co-owner. But anyway, plus I had to learn it. But what's happening right now is a lot of the big YouTubers aren't paid until the 30th. Most YouTubers are paid on the 30th. So the only people that are aware that something fishy is going on is myself and a couple other YouTubers that may or may not make videos. I don't know if they're going to, because they might eat the cost of 1 month, and they're probably already dropping, the network, and they can afford to take the loss. I can't afford to take the loss. So that's why I'm speaking out. That's why I'm saying things. That's why I'm in panic mode, is because 10 years ago I could take the hit. I can't take the hit this time. Like, my entire business is dependent on earning that revenue. So that's why I'm talking about it. I don't even know if Craig has the same thumb. I don't even know if I have his phone number still. I don't know if this works. Guys, can you hold on one sec? People don't realize that I have a vast resources of being able to find people. Um, Also, every producer, like, everyone who's ever called me or emailed me, I have people's information to get a hold of them. So I'm waiting to hear back from a couple publications. And I'm sorry to hijack your guys' stream. I know you just want to watch Mario Kart, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Also, many people know this about me, but I do suffer from a panic disorder. So I've taken a ton of Xanax right now. Hang on, I'm getting an important call. I gotta drop off. One sec, guys. Alright, sorry guys. I think I'm gonna get the Zelda stream started, and we're just gonna kinda work with Zelda, but I'm gonna be going. You're probably gonna see a lot of me over the next couple weeks because I'm definitely gonna blow the water out of this thing. So if Nagato is listening, you better get your act together, because I have 2 podcasts lined up, and I have a very big publication that's interested in talking with me because they don't like YouTube. So I would just pay me. If you want to keep me quiet, I would pay me and pay your partners, because you have no idea how bad this is going to get. Okay? Because I'm already in contact with YouTube and Google, like, operations and other things, and I have at least 1 podcast or 2 podcasts lined up for me to guest spot and discuss things. So you do not want to screw with me, because I have a wife to take care of. I've got a cat that has cancer that I need to get her treated and get her medicine. So I'm not going to screw around. Like, you don't mess with New York. So again, I'm going to be posting a video Sunday if we do not get paid by Saturday, because I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going through what I went through in 2014. I'm not doing it again. I'm not as cordial, as nice as people think I am. Yeah, I know. It could possibly be that, Miss Deanna. I mean, we're trying to figure out what's happening. YouTube operations is mobilizing. I just wish they would call the Swedish police. They need to investigate because for all we know, this guy could be dead. You know? Like, they need to investigate. They need to send the police to this dude's business and residence and find out what's going on. He could be dead. A lot of people die from working on YouTube and working online. There is an immense amount of stress. You have no idea. Even content creators get stressed. A lot of us have heart attacks. A lot of men who are content creators, a lot of them have heart attacks in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. There's so much stress involved with this because money makes people stressful. Not in New York, but fair. I will never not be out of New York. I have New York attitude, New York street smarts, New York business sense. You know, I lived in that state for a good chunk of my life. And maybe someday I'll retire there, but yeah, I'm taking care of business the way a New Yorker would. Yeah, I lived through an extortion thing before. Except I don't really have leverage this time. The only thing I have is my only weapon right now is my voice and my situation, and hoping that more YouTubers come forward. But again, a lot of them don't get paid until the 30th. There are some people that get early payment options for a 3% deduction, but nobody's saying anything because probably they can take the hit. They're just going to unlink their channels and they're going to go somewhere else. I can't take the losses because it's going to be almost $10,000 in losses, and I can't take that hit. So, but anyway, I'll see you guys on Zelda. I'm gonna try not to talk about it. I'm so sorry for ruining your Mario Kart stream. I'll do better tomorrow. I'm under a huge amount of stress right now. Like, I don't even know how to explain how much stress I'm under. Okay? So, but yeah, I'll see you guys on Zelda. I'm very sorry for hijacking your Mario stream. This was supposed to be fun, and literally the bomb just dropped in my lap today. Like, I don't know if I'm handling anything the way I should be or what. I'm completely... I don't even know the right term. I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned, and I'm heavily medicated because in order to prevent me from having a heart attack, like I said, I have a panic disorder, so I took a bunch of my medicine. Took a bunch of Xanax to try to calm down because I'm freaking out. I am freaking out right now. Like, this is me freaking out. I'm trying to stay calm, trying to stay rational. I'm trying to get my stuff mobilized and get my plan in action, but I'm literally, my mind is racing like a million words a minute. Ugh. It does feel like we're cursed, though. Like, not just the shadow banning nonsense. Like, it just feels like honestly, this feels like a spiritual attack. Everything was going great. My wife and my parents made amends. Their relationship has been strained. She enjoyed the visit with my parents. Everything is going good. And then this happens. Like, this does not feel coincidental. It's just, it's a lot to deal with, you know? It's so much to deal with. But let's yeah, head over to Zelda, guys. I'm sorry about your Mario stream. I'll try to be better tomorrow. with it. I have to. I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna run the music for Zelda. I have to email like 10 people right now, give them an update, as well as I need to follow up with the operations people. So this is real. This is developing right now, and it is very, very stressful. This is 100% real, and this is happening in real time. So you're literally a part of history, like witnessing one of the biggest YouTube scandals in probably 12 years. Like, way bigger than Kappa. And way bigger than the Pharrella Digital thing, which was kept quiet, mostly because YouTube didn't want to know about it. So, yeah. But anyway, I'll see you guys on Zelda.